When a new chat arrives and you are the next available in queue, CCA will open the chat session in a new window and bring it to focus on your desktop. At the top of the chat window, you will see the queue that the chat has come to, a search pane that allows you to search the text of the chat if you are looking for something previously stated in chat, classify, allowing you to classify the call if mandatory or optional, customer information, which allows you to search for or register interactions for this customer, and copy transcript, allowing you to make a copy of the interaction to send to the customer or perhaps a supervisor if need be. In the user information pane, the only fields that will appear by default are nickname, which is the name of the client assigned by the system, IP address, the IP address of the client, and web browser, which will show the version of their browser as well as their client's operating system. This can be useful in tech support call center interactions. All other fields that are listed must be required or optional for the client to enter when joining a chat session. Directly below the user info is the main chat panel, which includes the discussion pane where you can read both the customer's and your responses, the middle toolbar where you can change the chat mode, add users to the chat, and send your typed messages, and the outbound message pane at the bottom of the screen where you type messages to the customer. When you're chatting with a customer, your messages will show up on the right side of the screen, and the clients will appear to the left with their name, if provided, or nickname. On the middle toolbar, you can click Add User to add an agent to the current chat. This is useful if you need to transfer the customer to another agent for chat assistance, or if you need assistance from a fellow coworker. Clicking Add User will bring up a list of all agents available for chat. Once the agent has been added, you can chat with just that agent by selecting Whisper in the chat mode. This mode will display whispered chats only to agents in the room. When whispering, the chat bubble will display as a whisper. Any agent besides yourself in chat will appear to the left with their name beside it, just as the client appears. When there are multiple agents in chat, any agent can drop from the room to allow the other agent to carry on with the conversation. If at any time the client leaves the chat, you will be notified. At the bottom right of the chat window, the agent can turn on or off typing alerts, which notify the client that the agent is typing a return message. To exit and close the chat session, click the X at the top. When a new email arrives and you are the next available in queue, CCA will open the email message in a new window and bring it to focus on your desktop. This window is designed to provide you the standard email envelope info at the top, like the from and to addresses and subject line. You can also easily identify the queue that the email was received to. At the top of the email is a toolbar that contains buttons for further actions. Reply and forward allow you to respond to the email or forward it to another address. Clicking either of these buttons opens the email in a new Compose window, containing all the standard email fields and text editing options that are common to email applications. You can also update or register customer information and classify the email at any time, if enabled. You can export the email to an email archive file or directly to a notepad, which will save the email header information and body of the email. Finally, the release button is used to clear the email from the queue once you're finished, or to send the email back to a queue for someone else to address. You can also send the email to the suspended email queue, which will temporarily move the email from the current queue and allow you or other agents to check the contents of this email or reroute the email directly to a queue or user. Although it's considered a voicemail, you will receive voicemails to an email queue as well. It could be an existing email queue or one created specifically for the purpose of receiving voicemails. Voicemails will come to the agent just as emails do, with a few exceptions. First, there will be no reply or forward options with a voicemail. Second, the body of the email will be information pertaining to the voicemail. Most importantly, the reference ID that can be used to search for the voicemail recording at a later time by a team leader or management. And lastly, an attachment of the voicemail will need to be downloaded by the agent to listen to the caller's request. As with email, the voicemail messages will need to be released at the end of the interaction.
Orchestrating a brighter world. NEC.